Hello, it's Jimmy here at O'Reilly's. Come to look at a Ford Transit Custom here, and he's got some issues where he's had 3 different people clean the DPF. He's had the vaporizer replaced twice, and the van is just still acting weird. It's intermittently going into limp mode. He's saying sometimes it's struggling to start in the mornings. You know, the dashboard is acting weird. So engine running there. These are the faults we have. Engine malfunction. We've got engine management light on, skid light. So I've got my diagnostic machine plugged up here. This is the launch Euro Tab 2. So we've got some codes here. Particle filter, pressure is too high. Turbo underboost. Exhaust after treatment glow plug circuit. Now he's had that replaced twice. He's had a DPF clean 3 times. Soot accumulation too high. Invalid data from the control module, which indicates an electrical sort of issue there. Turbo underboost. Okay, quick little bit of a skip here from. I've just done a smoke test on the engine. There's no boost leaks. I've tested the actuator over here. So with the engine running, you can see that's moving up and down. And I've went on the live data. It's the current position of it is exactly where the desired position should be. So that's working fine. Now these can have problems. They usually fail, and you can see these sort of jumping around, or they just don't move. So I'm pretty happy that the actuator is working. I can't find a boost leak. This is another one. If we look down here, EGR valve's been unplugged. So the same people who've cleaned it 3 times, he's had them remap stuff. Now he's told me he's definitely sure that they haven't remapped the DPF out, but they've remapped the EGR valve out, which is why it's unplugged and left dangling there. But yeah, they can't get to the bottom of this problem. Okay, noticing an issue here with the speedometer. Sort of jumping around a bit now. The screen's gone blank. Okay, here's where I am now. I've taken up the seat here just to get access to the batteries. You've got 2 batteries on these vans. One is a starting battery, and then one battery here is what controls all of the ancillaries, electronics basically on the van. This battery here is what controls it. So you can see there on the first battery here we have 12 volts. We have got a few items on, so just turn those off. We've got lights and whatever on. So that battery seems to be okay. Can do a quick test on it. It's a 700 EN amps battery. So that battery's good. Now if we move it over to the second battery here, so you can see on the second battery we've only got 6 volts, and that's connected up here. Okay, so fitted a new battery and just clearing the codes. It's got a new USA battery in there. Right, we're just under the van there. You can see it's got a brand new vaporizer. We've tested the power supply and the resistance on it, and it's all working. So we know the vaporizer is not an issue. Okay, so where we're at so far, I am trying to clear the code on the vaporizer, which is it's not clearing. The code is just staying on the computer. Now I did put that down to, when I saw the flat battery, I put the vaporizer down to that. I think, yeah, okay, the battery, the low voltage on the body control module obviously is going to be causing the vaporizer to go wonky, and maybe the turbo actuator as well, which is not moving. That's why that. But the turbo actuator fault is gone. Vaporizer fault we need to have another look into. Why have we got voltage on the plug but it's not working? Okay, so on the vaporizer on the van, it plugs into a little plug here, and it weren't pushing all the way down. I noticed Just took it out, cleaned the grit from out the inside of it, and now it's pushed all the way in and it's clicked. You can feel it click when it pushes into place properly. And now the code for the vaporizer has gone. This is just an old vaporizer I've got just to show you from my own van. And yeah, the code has cleared, so now we just need to look at the particle filter restriction. So we're going to go back, go to the data stream, see if we can get some live data on the DPF. Okay, we've got 0 readings while the engine's off, which is a good sign. Start the van up and have a look at the pressure. 70 HPA or 70 millibars on idle, which is very, very high. Let's give it an acceleration. How far can we go? 3000 RPM. Got about 750 millibars or HPA, same reading. And it's raising. It's raising. And the pressure there is still rising. We're up to about 850 HPA or millibars there. So I'm using this solution here, Launch UK DPF particle filter cleaning with the Launch UK DPF cleaning gun, and I'm going to mix it 50-50 with the deionized water. So we're going to put that in here. Okay, so I've just removed the clip here and pulled the hose from the DPF itself here. This is the DPF, this is the DPF pressure hose that goes back to the DPF pressure sensor. So we've got that disconnected. I'm just going to connect up my hose here. Now we're going to squeeze in the fluid. Okay, we just finished putting in all of the fluid there, so just to mention, that goes onto a compressor there that's inside the van. Alright, we've let that fluid sit for a few minutes. Now we're going to start the van up. Oh yeah, we're not going to see pressure because I've not connected the sensor back up yet, so I'll go back under and connect the sensor back. Okay, sensor's now connected back up. We'll start it up, see what pressure we're reading at. Need to change the setting there again. So HPA's there, 120. Accelerate it up full. So we're already on half. Was on 850. And 300, 320. 200. That's the revs on 3000 RPM there, just over 3000 RPM. $210. Try and get it where there's no glare. See there, we're down to 150 now. Okay, so switch the van off now and we're going to put the other half of the bottle in with the engine running. Right now I've got the engine idling and I'm going to spray in again the rest of the fluid while the engine's running. So to clear the Dpf codes, I'm going to need to reset the particle filter values. Now that's complete. Now the reset values have been done, we should be able to clear these codes here. Particle filter, clear. That's clearing the ABS there. Go back to the PCM. Read default codes and retrieve. So the codes are now gone. Actually, we need to go back there for the live data. We'll get these ready. So now, if I start the engine up as well, we should get the full acceleration back. Alright, so what's happened now is the van has cut out. I've been giving it a few revs and it's cut out. So we try to restart it, nothing happens. So now it's in what's called a thermal cutout. And we'll have to wait now until the exhaust or engine cools down. That can take up to an hour. Okay, we've taken the van on a test drive and now we have the differential pressure there at 1.5 around 1 bar, or 1 millibar, 1 HPA. We'll hold it at 3000 RPM like it was before. So on his drive home, it will lower a little bit more than that as well. But yeah, that's about it. We're all about done. Get full acceleration. So it's still not completely finished the clean end process really. So it is lowering. And if we let go of the accelerator, got like zero pressure. Accelerated a tiny bit. You can see there, jumps up, back to zero. So zero pressure, of course, is basically just as good as a brand new one. So I've had the van on a drive as well there. No codes, turbo codes gone. Obviously, a few of the problems was, one was the vaporizer, which was replaced a couple of times, but that wasn't plugged in properly. The BCM faults, and the van was acting a little bit weird with the codes and voltages. That was related to the second battery, which is the BCM battery. And the pressure on the DPF, which we have now fixed, got that back down to zero. So that's it. Should be all finished. So before he makes his way home, we're going to put a can of this in his diesel tank. So when you get soot built up back through the DPF, and it obviously carries on back all the way back to your intake manifold, this now is going to get rid of all of that. Now that the engine's running fine, obviously you can get more of that soot come back down through the system into the DPF. So this is going to burn all of that excess soot off in the intake manifold valves all the way down until obviously all of that's gone, which is going to help his DPF. So we're going to get that can in there. You can see that fluid there. So just put this in with a full tank of fuel. Okay, before we finish up the video, I just mention a few things about what's happened here in the video. For starters, he's had the DPF cleaned 3 times. Now he's had it regenerated yesterday, but they couldn't tell him if it worked or not. Clearly it didn't. It's been regenerated yesterday. It's got 850 millibars of pressure today. They said that's the only fault they could find with that issue. They don't know why the vaporizer wasn't working. It wasn't plugged in properly. So the vaporizer was just, that's all that it turned out to be. It just wasn't plugged in properly. Sun is a bit bright. The other electrical sort of faults was down to, I believe, the battery, and I believe maybe the turbo fault may have been just because of that battery as well. Obviously the particle filter then, number 3, which we have cleaned with the fluid, the launch fluid there. All of the stuff you see in the video now, what I'm going to do is put links in the video for it. I'll put a link down to the launch website where you can buy the particle filter cleaning fluid that we flushed through the filter, and the flow restorer that we put in the tank. So that's it. We're all finished. We'll see you on our next videos.